Kids can create without permission. They draw nonsense, build dumb Lego towers, invent worlds, talk to imaginary friends, play in dirt. They do whatever their mind thinks of. There's no fear of judgment or bad or right or wrong. They don't ask if something's good, they just do when they're excited to do something. Point being, creativity comes from freedom, not skill. School teaches you there's one right answer. School doesn't allow your creativity to flourish. So you go from being a cheerful, free kid to having to raise your hand when you want to ask something. And if you're trying to solve something, there's only one way to do it, the right way. They got tests to study you, and if you don't choose the right answer, you're wrong. There's no creativity. You go by a formula, and everyone gets graded the same way. There's no originality in anything you do in school, and it becomes a liability. So what you do in school is you stop using that creativity that you have. Maybe you repress it and you only start drawing in notebooks and stuff because you're bored, but you don't outwardly express that creativity like you used to as a kid anymore. You get told to stop doing that too many times, and the creativity hides. Stop daydreaming. Stop doodling. Stop asking weird questions. Stop making noises. Stop doing everything. Adults mistake creativity for misbehavior, and then that's what makes them want to correct it, but there's no correction needed. They make you internalize that your self expression is a nuisance, it's an inconvenience. When you age, you gain self consciousness, but that's not, it is good, but it also has its drawbacks. You start worrying how you look, how people think of you. Every creative idea that you had is now going through a process of, would this look cool if I did this? Would I look weird if I did this? Does this make me look stupid? Creativity needs to be shameless, and it's kind of a paradox because becoming an adult builds shame. Having a routine of waking up every day at a set point, just, it programs you and makes you blind in a metaphorical sense. You wake up, go to school, eat, do your homework, scroll on your phone, and it's in the background. It's not in the foreground where it used to be at. It's getting overtaken by life. Outside of school, internet just makes you a consumer. It doesn't, they tell you to create, but really, what are you creating by watching a video? You're not. You're just consuming. They make you think that you're going to do something when you really don't, and you aren't doing anything. Every idea is already done when you look online, and you have a sense of comparison to what other people do, but that is another thing that will kill your creativity. The more you end up consuming online, and the less you produce in real life. You know, outside of the school and internet, just in general, growing up, you have all these responsibilities now where it gets to the point where you can't have fun. You can't imagine because that will get in the way of your real life things that you have to accomplish. And it's just a trade-off. It's what happens when you get older, but that death of creativity is a scary thing to look at. You know, you can't just sit around and play without feeling guilty because you're a grown person now. Stop doing that stupid shit. Your bills, schedules, they don't play. So you can't play. It has to be for a higher purpose or a profit. As you get older too, at least in school, you could ask questions as like, why not? And why do we do a problem this way? You still have that little bit of room to experiment and learn. But as an adult, you need justification for everything. Your creativity needs curiosity more than intelligence, and that's not something that being an adult feeds you now. Yes, it's not bad to ask questions, but you're not asking the questions the younger self would have asked if you were still that free young child that you were. Everybody wants to be good immediately. They don't want to look like a beginner. They get that imposter syndrome where they don't feel like they fit in. Your ideas die before you even let them breathe. And that's just a part of social anxiety and low key just in general. Whenever you pop into a new scenario or scene, you get that feeling that makes you hesitate on doing whatever it is that you thought about doing. That that's also a killer of creativity. And with all this shit here, it just all forms together and kills off your creativity. Like me personally, the last time I made something just because was when I started this YouTube channel. I just thought, why not? But it took so long for me to get to that point of just saying, fuck it, I'm gonna just do something. It makes me give myself the question, like, am I living or am I just repeating the same days over?